Last month, Becker County decided that it would be a good idea to enact a up to 0.5% local option sales tax, which will be used for transportation throughout the entire county. Now, I'm totally against this tax. We've talked about this before. We're going to talk about a little bit more today. But I want to talk about a different tax that the city of Detroit Lakes has been collecting since 1990, because there was a very interesting article written in the Detroit Lakes paper, which I happened upon, that talked about the lodging tax. And I thought it was very informative to let people know, and these kind of articles are, on how these taxes are used, where the money goes. But it's interesting how they segued into, from this lodging tax, into the county sales tax. And that's really what I want to talk about. But to give you some background on the lodging tax here in Becker County, it's actually in the city of Detroit Lakes. There are about 100 different, what you would call, jurisdictions that have some kind of lodging taxes. Some of them are certain blocks of, let's say, downtown Minneapolis, which helps pay for certain convention centers, or the Metrodome at one point, some money went for that, etc. Also, certain townships, maybe a certain resort area, and cities like Detroit Lakes have such set lodging tax. Again, we're one of up to 100 of these different jurisdictions. Detroit Lakes set theirs up in 1990. Now, they first started granting lodging taxes in rural Minnesota in 1972. Starting in 1969, there were some special exceptions for Minneapolis and some other metropolitan cities. As a general rule, though, of the Minnesota Miracle passed in 1972, which is supposed to grant all that local government aid to communities and counties everywhere, there wasn't supposed to be any types of sales taxes or local option taxes, because that miracle was going to be the great equalizer. 25 years later, 30 plus years later, the miracle is obviously dead, because we're getting taxes coming left and right locally here just in Detroit Lakes and Becker County. And either we're special or this is a statewide thing. And if it's because we're special, then we need to really look internally as to what's happening here, that we seem to need to pass all these extra taxes. But let me back up a bit. 1990 is when this lodging tax started here in Detroit Lakes. $23,600 is about how much it brought in. It was then raised in 1992 from 1% to 2%, and then again in 1994 from 2% to 3%. 3% is the max allowed by state statute that you can charge for lodging. In 2010, this tax brought in $164,000. In 2011, $176,000. In 2012, about $194,000. And last year, 2013, an estimated $213,000. So what's this money used for? Well, up to 95% of it has got to be used to promote Detroit Lakes in some way. The Chamber really does, I think, a pretty solid job of doing that with the funds that they are allowed to get from this tax. And they promote the place in the Fargo-Moorhead area, the Detroit Lakes area, obviously. They promote us down in Sioux Falls, other parts of eastern Dakotas, and up in Winnipeg, too, which has become a bigger and bigger destination to get Canadians down here to visit the lakes area. So I really don't have much of a problem with that. It's one that I guess a lot of people visiting the area do pay, and we pay it when we visit other communities. What I don't like is the article then brought up, it said that this tax is the smart tax, and it's like the smart tax. And this tax, it talks about, the county approved this a few months ago. It's going to tack on this half cent. That's what I don't like. This article was nothing more than propaganda to get you to feel like the county's smart tax is a good idea and you should support it. Because like the food and lodging tax, but like the lodging tax Detroit Lakes has, only foreigners or only visitors are going to be paying that tax. Because they say 40% of that local option sales tax will be paid by tourists, as if 60% is not the majority, and the majority of us live here are going to be paying it year-round. But that's my biggest beef with this. It's just the idea of trying to normalize this, trying to make you think that it's okay, trying to make you think that there was nothing wrong with this, and trying to make you feel all right about your local government taking every single penny it can from you to spend on who knows what right now in the county. People just need to remember this come November, because in July you're going to start paying it. And November we've got at least 2 commissioners that's terms are up. And they need to know exactly how you feel about continually taxing us to death.